Assalamu alaikum. I hope you guys are well. A good evening and a very, very warm welcome. This is Information Technology University FM 90.4. I'm your host and your host Zara Alvi, and I have live on my live session with me the multi-talented, multilingual, renowned, internationally renowned Pakistani singer and songwriter Zebunissa Bangsh, and we are very honored to have her on board. Assalamu alaikum. कैसी हैं आप ज़ेब?
Assalamu alaikum, Zara. I'm good. बिल्कुल ठीक. यहाँ पे it's early morning, so good.
Yes, yeah, and thank you again, and a big salute to your passion and your enthusiasm कि आप इतनी सुबह उठ के हमारे साथ participate कर रही हैं. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And
Now,
as
I want to talk to you guys, so I'm very happy.
That's brilliant. Yes, it's always a pleasure. And obviously, this is my first time. So I'm also really super excited. I have been listening to your songs ever since you started in Coke Studio. I used to be in England at that time. And it was always a pleasure to, listen to you live on the show. And you were very popular there as well, by the way, among Indians especially, and rightly so. ज़ेब आपके सॉन्ग्स आपकी एल्बम का नाम था 2008 में रिलीज हुई थी चुप एक एल्बम हुई थी आपकी रिलीज उसके बाद यू हैव सॉन्ग्स sung for Madras Cafe 2013 the film Bollywood films and then there was Highway 2014 Bin Roy Pakistani film Manto हो मंजहा फतफितूर लाला बेगम वरना परवाज़ है जुनून बाजी परेहट लव एंड सुपरस्टार and oh my god the list goes on and you were also awarded the Lux Style Award and also a Hum Award for Yaare Man and that was the OST of the drama serial Dayare Dil and it won the award for best original soundtrack. And you've also obviously sung for Coke Studio and the famous BB Sanam, which is still sort of like a pleasure to the ears, I would say. And recently, which we sort of play on our radio station on repeat, Roche for Kashmir as well, which is a brilliant track again. How do you, Zeb, how do you feel being successful and a renowned multilingual singer and a songwriter?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how I feel, but it's just, I guess I just feel a bit, I feel a bit lucky, to be able to access all these different cultures. And when I first started, तो मुझे नहीं लगता था कि I would, मतलब, it basically started with Persian, with Paimona and Bibi Sanam. क्योंकि ये हमारी मादरी ज़बान नहीं है, ये ऐसा culture है जो हमने अपने इर्द गिर्द देखा है, लेकिन हमने but we don't know this culture that well. So मैंने किया था तो मैंने बहुत डर के किया था because I thought कि वैसे भी Persian speakers are very particular about their
of
culture.
course,
उन्होंने accept किया तो उससे फिर जरा confidence बढ़ी. Then I did other languages and like the Highway song is in Haryanvi. It's not actually Hindi. Then I did songs in Baluchi with my band here. I did songs in Turkish. और फिर ऐसे करते finally did it in Kashmiri, which was really lovely. And also Punjabi recently, even though I've been in Punjab all my life, but I also used to feel scared कि Punjabi में, गाने के लिए you have to have a certain thing. But everyone is
definitely
good. Everyone's been very, the audience has loved it. So in that sense, I feel lucky that nobody has rejected anything so far.
Well, me as an audience feel that you have definitely gone far and beyond. You've done justice to all the languages that you've sung in, and they're beautifully done.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Well, I have a question. Like, you've performed in a lot of Coke Studio seasons, right? So, which would be your favorite one that you sort of memorable one that stuck with you?
I think memorable would have to be the first one. इसलिए क्योंकि एक तो ये था, it was a very special time because हमारे करियर की शुरुआत हो रही थी. दूसरी बात ये थी कि हम लोग कोक स्टूडियो पे जब गए और हमने वो गाने गाए तो हमें ये एहसास नहीं हो रहा था कि हम कोई बहुत बड़ी चीज कर रहे हैं. आज करें भी तो we can't really take that awareness out कि oh this is a big project. And when you kind of change yourself, even if you don't want to, you change how you look. हम लोग literally जैसे हम थे वैसे करके चले गए. And आजकल तो बहुत ज़्यादा डिजाइनर्स होते हैं और ये होता है और बड़े बड़े सेट्स होते हैं कोक स्टूडियो में भी, उस वक्त बहुत एक सिंपल म्यूजिक सेंट्रिक सा अप्रोच था कोक स्टूडियो का।
राइट
क्योंकि उनको भी नहीं पता था इतना ज्यादा होगा, तो एक सिंसेरिटी थी वो सेकंड सीजन में, द फर्स्ट 2-3 सीजंस, जो आई थिंक even we ourselves can't now recreate. That time was magical.
So there's more sort of, obviously focus is on singing, but you were saying that there's also a lot of focus on your appearance, your the whole cosmetic surgery thing going on, that the presentation as well.
Yeah, I mean, you see it, right? I mean, I don't have to say it.
Of course I do. No, of course I know what you mean. Yeah.
There's like styling, there's lights. I mean, uski marketing bhi itni alag ho gayi hai. There's
of course
who are you wearing, who did your makeup, who did your hair, who
right,
how many there's also things like TRPs and other
of course
sirf music tha, like we were complete newbies and we were given a very big slot in Coke Studio. We were given 4 slots. That doesn't happen anymore, so
there's a lot of it has evolved a lot in a lot of aspects, you mean.
In a lot of aspects, and some of them are great.
Yeah.
It's that's helped it grow commercially.
Mm-hmm.
But some of it,
right,
as artist, I wish that we could go back,
I know, you know what, I miss that the time you're talking about, that was the only channel I got brought in my house over there, and I used to love watching it, and I know exactly what you mean, so I can go back down the memory lane with you as well. Zaib, as we know, and we sort of been following you on your presence and your interviews as well, you are an avid traveler, you love traveling as well, and which basically is the place other than Pakistan that you love going to, and what has sort of traveling taught you in life?
So I was always like, that was one of my ambitions. Log say, do you want fame, fortune, or whatever is tarah ki baatein puchte hain, but I always travel.
Of course,
I've been very lucky, and I think traveling has taught me that people are pretty much the same everywhere. And many a times, especially Pakistan mein, when we're young, हमें जरा सी होती है कि हम बाहर जाएंगे तो things will be different, and the system isn't working for me, and if I did this, I would be in a much better place. I could have done so much better. But when you go, यहाँ पे corruption है, politics है, ये है, वो है. But I think एक तो ये चीज होती है कि आप अपने आप को एक you see yourself as part of a larger whole. That's what traveling.
Of course.
Another thing
right.
is it teaches you is tolerance, because you realize कि बहुत मुख्तलिफ तरीके हैं किसी भी एक चीज के बारे में सोचने के, कोई भी एक चीज करने के. And finally, I think at some level, traveling also helps you understand, appreciate, and have more value for your own culture. And
wow, yes, that's so true. Agreed.
जब आप बाहर जाते हो, you've lived in London, so I'm sure जिस तरह से आपने पाकिस्तान को समझा लंदन जाके, शायद आप समझ पाती.
I totally agree with that. I totally agree with you on that. That's totally and you think it is because of the colonization, we are sort of still mentally colonized, that we are in that frame of mind all the time as a nation.
So yes, ये भी बहुत interesting लगता है कि आप ऐसी जगह जाते हैं जहाँ पे आपको लगता है कि यार पाकिस्तान में तो इससे बहुत बेहतर चीज है. पाकिस्तान में लेकिन वो लोग कंप्लेन नहीं करते हैं अपने मुल्क के बारे में.
बिल्कुल.
हर एक छोटी छोटी चीज को बहुत फख्र से आपको दिखाते हैं, और बहुत, एंड वो इतना अच्छा लगता है ना कि कोई फख्र से अपने मुल्क के बारे में बात करता है. And that makes you little conscious of why are we always criticizing ourselves. It's an unhealthy relationship to our own identity.
We don't own ourselves or our identity, you mean? So obviously, yeah.
We don't celebrate.
Yes. Wow, yeah, that's very well put. I hope people are listening and sort of taking note on that for that. Okay, for your career, did you face any kind of roadblocks, hurdles, or difficulties in your journey as a singer?
I don't know if it's as a singer. I think my personality was not really cut out, and my background was not
Right.
cut out for you know, that kind of like exposure loving thing. Matlab, I was interested in the music, and musicians ki or music ki mujhe hamesha support mili hai. So whether it's producers or, you know, fellow musicians or, you know, anyone that was interested in the music, I always got a lot of, in the beginning, it was a lot of support and all of that. Even from parts of the fashion industry and all, like the people who understood me really loved me. But there were people, and there continue to be people who don't understand me. Like they say,
of course,
why is she not coming to the red carpets? What is going on? Why not? You know, so wo mujhe, you know, and I tried, you know, it's not like I didn't try, but it just doesn't vibe with me in the same way. So
I know what you
I
mean.
think
Yeah,
that was a hurdle for me. I think because commercially successful hone ke liye, you know, you have to kind of, it's not just about the music. There's so much other
of
stuff
course,
to do.
of course.
And that stuff was difficult. But, you know, it's weird because ultimately it didn't matter, you know. Today I feel like I was able to do the commercial stuff and all. हम बड़ा pressure डालते हैं कि इसके अलावा नहीं होगा. But
हाँ जी, बिल्कुल.
वो psychologically 1-2 साल के लिए जरा, you know, मुश्किल था. But अभी नहीं, मतलब अभी तो it's like, you know, it's fine. Like I get to do whatever I want to do.
That's awesome. You seem like a very grounded and a very calm and a very relaxed person. I was listening to one of your interviews, and I really liked, you said something about that I never had ambition, I always had passion, and that sort of stuck with me. So you would say that the passion is still there about life in general, about your music, about anything else that inspires you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I'm also always searching for things that inspire me. And it doesn't have to be music related, but, you know.
Of course.
So, but yeah, I think I feel the most lost when there's nothing that's really kind of making me feel like intensely. So I need that. I need that.
Wow, you must have an interesting life then, because, you know, you're looking for something intense all the time.
Full of adventures and misadventures.
Okay, Zaid, we all know that you're a classically trained singer, and obviously that sort of led in sort of like a versatility in your voice and your work as a singer. And every year you just manage to carry off something, and it is beyond our expectations. And like most recent renditions of Lata Mangeshkar, because every singer feels that that is a very hard person to, you know, match any with her voice and her tones and her things, and it's unusual for somebody who's trained in classical singing but starting with pop. So why did you pursue classical training, and did you know you would end up being a pop singer or labeled as a pop singer eventually?
So, I mean, I was never interested in doing pop singing or commercial singing.
Right.
Singing was my passion. And so my parents were very supportive of my passion. So they always had, you know, हमेशा कोई ना कोई teacher होता था music का.
Of course.
उसके साथ, I mean, you just sing songs here and there. But then when I came, we got posted to Lahore, and then we ended up settling in Lahore.
Right.
So Lahore, आपको पता है, it's the cultural capital of the.
Definitely, बिल्कुल.
तो यहाँ पे क्लासिकल मौसीकी गाने वाले, सुनने वाले पूरी एक कम्युनिटी है, एंड यंग लोग भी एक्चुअली इसमें बहुत ज्यादा, यू नो, इंटरेस्ट लेते हैं. तो आई वाज वेरी फॉर्चुनेट कि आई काइंड ऑफ स्टार्टेड गेटिंग, यू नो, इन्वॉल्व्ड इन दिस वर्ल्ड, एंड क्लासिकल की तरफ मेरा रुझान हुआ. और फिर जब मैंने शुरू किया, माय फर्स्ट एवर class, you know, in हालांकि it was like with tens of other people.
Of course.
Ustad Rustam used to have a class every day. So वहाँ पे मैं sat in that class, and then I knew कि बस मुझे यही करना है. It really.
That's awesome.
And then उसके बाद I went to college, ये वो, and Hania के साथ and we ended up doing these things that just became popular. So I started gigging and playing with the band and all. But my personal kind of tilt has always been towards classical singing. मुझे बहुत matlab that's what I want to learn. Dusri baat ye hai ki, you know, I come from a very professional family, so
Of course,
and
yeah.
I never thought I would be a singer. So
Mm-hmm.
when my father said, look, now you're getting, you know, everything is going this way, it's pushing you,
Of course, yeah,
you should
yeah.
just start thinking of it as a career. So
Hmm.
so when that happened and I quit my job and I started really doing my own thing, I felt very insecure कि मेरी तो training नहीं है. You know, आप जब
Right.
engineer बनते हो तो आप engineering school जाते हो, you're going to,
बिल्कुल,
you
बिल्कुल.
know, in ITU you have people with lots of ambition to do amazing things, but they must go to
Yes,
ITU. So
of
I
course,
said,
for technical.
for
Yeah,
technical knowledge, and
yeah.
even art has its own technical knowledge, which is
I
very
agree with that.
important to, you know, so that's why I said, even if I do pop all my life, I must learn classical, because that is the knowledge base that will like kind of help me move forward.
Definitely, that's brilliant. Zeb, I remember listening to one of your earliest interviews when you became known as a face in Pakistan as Zeb Bangsh, and who's just back from abroad and they've started singing. Obviously, you sung abroad and that sort of got viral. You said something कि मैं रियाज करती हूँ बहुत सुबह उठकर. आपने जिक्र किया था एक दफा, तो ये अभी भी आपकी प्रैक्टिस चल रही है? Are you still into that or?
You know, in the pandemic, it's been up and down, because
Right.
yeah, I mean, sometimes it's been very intense, my riyas, and
Mhm.
you know, and sometimes it's been low. I think it depends on how like I'm, you know, feeling. I try to do some riyas every day, and morning is the best time to do it. So yeah, I mean,
Yes.
yeah. I wish I
Because
was.
that for me very inspiring to listen, and I was like, oh my god, that's so wonderful, and so dedication होती है, उस चीज के लिए dedication चाहिए होती है. And अच्छा, आप you are a modern contemporary artist and you've worked with musicians from all over the world. So what does it give back to you as an artist? How did you get it? What did you earn from it? As in, not obviously financially. I'm not talking about that aspect. I'm talking about basically as an experience. Learning aspect कैसा था? Curve क्या था उसमें? Learning curve आपके लिए?
जी, I mean, वैसे तो of course you know, सबसे पहले जब आप बाहर जाते हो और बाहर even if you just perform abroad, सबसे पहले तो the one thing that hits you, which I think you will appreciate and everyone in your technical university will appreciate, is that उनकी know-how of sound and acoustic design is so
Of
much,
course,
is
definitely,
really amazing, and that can इतना
definitely,
ज़मीन आसमान का फर्क हो जाता है when you have proper
बिल्कुल.
engineers and proper equipment and proper
Mhm.
lighting, and then you have the proper people who understand that equipment to work it right. So you know,
Right.
that's the first thing that I recognize, that actually, you know, a performance is really, it's almost like theater, and
Of course.
we don't really think much about the technical aspects of how to put up a show.
Agreed.
One
Definitely.
that, and then सबसे ज्यादा मेरी लर्निंग हुई जब मैंने न्यूयॉर्क में ये एक बैंड फॉर्म किया माइकल विनोग्राड के साथ, और उस बैंड
Wow.
there's many different people who play you know, amazing musicians that play instruments that we are not always, you know, with, like we have
Right.
accordionist,
Of
we have
course.
clarinet player, we have all kinds of lovely instruments. तो मुझे सबसे उससे मुझे ये you know, learning हुई a discipline कि you know,
Hmm.
these are people, हम लोग हमारे यहाँ इस चीज को like इस चीज को बहुत ज्यादा रोमांटिसाइज किया जाता है कि आर्टिस्ट पर्सनालिटी जो होती है वो बड़ी you know ढीली ढाली होती है और
Hmm.
उनको किसी चीज की परवाह नहीं होती, like that kind of myth is over, like the age of that kind
Yes.
of artist is over. So you know,
Totally agree with that.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I remember I was showing up late to rehearsal, like half an hour, 20 minutes, half an hour, 20
Hmm.
minutes every day. And you know, like on the third rehearsal, the entire band sat down with me and they said, Kizeb, this can't go on. Like you have to be on
Wow.
time because we're all on time.
Hmm.
And you know, and people were taking trains and they were lugging their own things. So there's a real dedication. So I really appreciated that. What I appreciated was that, you know, there's a lot of openness to other cultures and other kinds of music. मुझे लगता है
Hmm.
पाकिस्तान में जब हम लोग अगर आप मॉडर्न म्यूजिक सुनते हैं तो आप कहते हैं कि क्लासिकल म्यूजिक और ये क्या पुराना म्यूजिक लगा दिया है,
हाँ बिल्कुल बिल्कुल, आई एग्री विद दैट,
ये
बिल्कुल.
बोरिंग म्यूजिक है, मजा नहीं आया इसमें बीट वहां पे. और या अगर आप क्लासिकल म्यूजिशियन हैं तो आप कहते हैं कि ये किस किस्म की वाहियात मौसीकी है.
बिल्कुल जी.
उससे क्या होता है कि एज आपका माइंड इट डजंट ग्रो, आपकी लिसनिंग ब्रॉड नहीं होती. वहां पे ये देखा है कि बहुत उनकी ब्रॉड लिसनिंग है. इवन अगर उनको कोई चीज समझ में नहीं आती ना, तो बजाय इसके कि वो उसको रद्द कर लें, वो उसको कोई 5-10 दफा सुन लेते हैं to see what they can find in it. And that
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल.
really really important lesson for me, because it taught me how to be positive about my listening and how to listen to things
Wow, yeah. Yeah. So listening is a term that is misconstructed and sort of not taken very seriously. People need to listen as well.
That's
Unfortunately, आपने जो classical की बात की है, people don't warm up to change. Anything that is out of the ordinary is wrong for them, basically.
right.
Unfortunately. अच्छा देव, आप you sorry?
Tolerance का मसला है.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल, tolerance and lots of things, coexistence, tolerance, patience, we are losing, we are sort of need to work on that. Mashallah, you are multilingual as well, and आपकी authentic कहते हैं ना South Asian voice, and you have the honor of to be the only female Pakistani vocalist to have worked with A.R. Rahman. He's called you his favorite Pakistani voice as well. आपका सूफी कलाम था लजपत अली, and it's been played around shrines, and Roshi, as you well know, it has been embraced as an anthem for Kashmiris and Kashmir, obviously. And recently, your tribute to Lata Mangeshkar sort of created quite a stir as well. But why is it that the Pakistani media insists on calling you Pashtun singer, and although you've only sung one song, and sort of ignorant step hai ye. So how do you feel about that? What do you have to say about that?
I'm very confused about it. I mean, not that I'm
Yeah,
not Pashtun I mean, I'm very proud of my heritage.
of course,
But
yes,
and it's great to call me Pashtun because that's where I'm from. But
of course.
I've lived all over Pakistan, and my repertoire, like you said, right from the beginning, we
Yeah,
came out with an entire album of
yeah,
Pakistan, of Urdu songs that we ourselves
exactly,
wrote, right? And then on
right.
top of that, people say, but you sang Paimona, and I was like, but Paimona is in Persian.
Persian, exactly, yes,
Pashto. Bibi Sanam
yes,
is not Pashto, and
right.
so it also makes me a little sad कि वही जो हम बात कर रहे थे ना कि
जी जी,
हम लोग अगर आप किसी को कहो कि ये अमेरिकन इंग्लिश है और ये ऑस्ट्रेलियन इंग्लिश है और ये सबको पता है, लेकिन किसी को
बिल्कुल.
ये मतलब पाकिस्तानी जर्नलिस्ट को ये तक नहीं पता कि पैमाना के फारसी और पश्तो में क्या फर्क है.
Shame, that's a shame.
And they
Yeah.
themselves don't know. They say, I love your Pashto song Paimona Bide. How it's not Pashto.
Yeah, that's a bit disappointing, obviously.
It's very disappointing. And but it also kind of, I take it in my stride now. I just laugh about it. Initially I was
Right.
shocked because I couldn't believe it. And then I realized that, that is one thing that we haven't really been able to, overcome. हमारी जो regional politics है वो बहुत मतलब that maybe in the time of PTV and just one channel it was better because at least we used to get हमें कुछ तो मिलता था
from other provinces, yes.
Yeah, and it wasn't just कि आप खाना, मुझे अभी लगता है कि अब खाना वो fill करते हैं कि there's no they don't really tell you what's going on, they don't really explain, and there's no interest that's created. So and also like there's in the time of the internet there's no such thing as a completely uniform Pashto identity or Punjabi identity, or because we all are taking from each other's cultures, from each other's, especially the youth, right? Matlab
right.
Pakistan mein I see like my young friends or young nieces and nephews, and they're like singing American songs, and they have their brand is from I don't know, Singapore, and they, you know, and everyone loves Japanese stuff, and so that's not how, you know, people should be seen. And I really think that it's about time that आप किसी को काम की वजह से देखें, उनकी ethnicity doesn't matter. Talk about
Right.
matter,
That's
but
a good point.
or not.
That's a very valid point. I was lucky enough to grow, I was born and raised in Karachi. So, matlab, half of my life. So that was a big experience, like you said. But you had the more exposure of going all around Pakistan as well. But we, as a nation, I think थोड़ा सा identity crisis से हम अभी भी गुजर रहे हैं और hopefully थोड़ी सी awareness होगी. But Acha, we all know you got married, mashallah, in 2017. So, how's married life treating you, and what is the most enjoyable and sort of appreciable thing about your life as a married person now?
So I think the most enjoyable thing is I actually have time to watch all these amazing TV shows and Netflix.
Right, right.
No, but I mean, jokes aside, yeah, I mean, it's a very different life. But it's also,
Right.
it kind of coincided a lot with this lockdown and all. I mean, I
Of
keep
course,
going
of
back and
course.
forth because kaam mera chal raha hai. But it's really nice to have someone to, you know, to share your life with. And
Of course.
you know, I had not experienced this before. I've always grown up, and it's just the two of us because we're abroad. And
Right.
it's a very different kind of togetherness because when you're in Pakistan, there's always, mashallah, tons of people in the house.
Yes,
I seen. So
I totally agree.
it's been very great, and it's a real transformative experience. And I think that's why probably people say it's very important because, you know, you have to really kind of figure out what parts of you stay and what parts of you can change in order to
Evolve. Yeah,
evolve, in order
yeah,
to live with another person, and that really makes you
yeah.
understand yourself better, you know.
That's true. That's very nicely put. And last year, as we all know, the whole world spent in lockdown at home. How did you spend that time, and what did it sort of teach you, staying at home?
I think I loved it. I have to say I loved the lockdown. Because like
Right.
I told you, I like to have my own space. I'm kind of a private person in some ways,
Mm-hmm.
so that was really good. What I did do was I spent a lot of time doing my riyaz. I did a lot of listening. I hadn't been listening
Wow.
to records of classical musicians in a few years, so वो listening मैंने बहुत की. I heard a lot of beautiful folk. I mean, I rediscovered the Fair Niazi Saab, which was amazing, and he was
Wow, that's nice.
real, his prayer spirit. Um, and then I think what I learned was that, you know, it's really, really important to use this time. It was a very special time to use it to change one's attitude towards one's own work and towards other people and relationships. I realized that relationships are far more important than anything else in the world.
Definitely,
You know,
definitely.
and I also realized that it's good to just be grateful and do whatever you can in the moment rather than like thinking up all these things and stressing yourself out.
Bilkul. And not planning and just going with the flow. That's what I think last year everybody did. Hopefully, not too much this year. And what do you are you into any other hobbies? I mean, obviously, singing is something you're passionate about as well. And you also said that you find things that sort of intensify and create some intense emotion in you. What other things sort of get your attention? Any hobbies, any crafts that you are interested in?
So I mean, I really like exploring. So you know, I like outdoorsy activities.
Right,
I
right.
love swimming. I love cycling. I love going for long walks by myself. You know, I do also really like kind of, you know, I feel like I'm a serious conversationalist, like serious
Yes.
conversations. मुझे बहुत ज़्यादा मज़ा आता है to like think about things, kind of abstract things. You know, and with my friends, I have that. I've recently started cooking, which I'm also enjoying.
Wow.
Sometimes, yeah. So I mean, a little bit of drawing here and there. So it's yeah, it's a mixed bag. Reading.
Zabe, we have a message from one of the listeners, and it's Samira Khan. She's saying that, hey, Sarah, great session. I'm a big fan of Zabe. And I love all her songs and music. Please let her know that and conduct more such sessions in the future.
Thank you, Sunira.
Zeb, आपके एक इंटरव्यू में आपने mention किया था about liberal arts, that when you were studying in college abroad, and obviously you were a banker as well, you worked in the banking and you studied liberal arts. So what subjects did you like studying besides your technical economics and all the subjects that led you to do banking?
So I used to love art history.
Right,
मैंने आर्ट हिस्ट्री के बहुत कोर्सेज लिए और फिर आई एंडेड अप इतने ज़्यादा कोर्सेज ले लिए कि इन माय थर्ड ईयर माय एडवाइजर वाज लाइक इफ यू डू 2 more courses you'll have a double majors in art history. So
right.
I did a double majors in art history. I loved
Wow,
it.
that's awesome.
And then I also really enjoyed enjoyed the math classes that we took. That I like math a lot. So
Wow, math, that's
one thing I
wonderful.
didn't enjoy was philosophy. We did a debating philosophy class, and
Oh, okay, all right.
I thought that because I love to talk, I would love
Yeah.
philosophy and stuff and debating, but I hated it. Like, बहुत मुश्किल
Oh,
होता class guzri. So
it is. I took a course once. It's a bit of a hard subject. People think it's nothing, but it isn't. It's a tough subject. I agree with that.
Yeah, you have to.
Okay, बिल्कुल, I totally agree with that. But I'm really impressed कि maths आपको पसंद था, because I didn't touch my maths after my O levels and I don't even remember anything. So Zeb, who is that one person that sort of you kind of owe your success to, or the person you are, and you're thankful for that person, other than obviously working hard and being yourself as well? But who's that one person that you would say?
I don't think there's any one person. You know,
Right.
there's many people. I mean, first and foremost, I would say, it's my parents. And
Mm-hmm.
my my uh, my parents and my siblings, and they've been around. I'm kind of one of the younger siblings, so I've also learned a lot from the wisdom and the mistakes of my elders. And there's
Of
always
course.
such a there's always been so much like talk about and emphasis on values in my background, and I think I give all the credit to my parents for that. They've been lovely human beings to me and to everyone around them, and that really helps a lot. And then, of course, I mean, my teachers, and most importantly, like, Ustad Nasiruddin Sami Saab. I mean, ever since I met him, which was around, almost a decade ago now, 8, 9 years ago, I mean, it's like everything in my life is transformed. It's not just my voice that's, evolved, but everything.
Yeah.
So I think one is very, very lucky to have, teachers, because even your parents are kind of your teachers, and your teachers are
Of course. Of course. Of course.
so I think I'm grateful to all these people, and I owe them a lot.
Yeah, and we owe them a lot as well, because we have you as an awesome singer and a vocalist, and it's always a pleasure to listen to your songs. Always. Okay, just before we wind up and say Khudafis, and a few questions, 2 more questions, and then we'll do a rapid fire.
Okay.
That would be it. Nothing too drastic, nothing too out there, just a little bit of fun. Say, what is the key to success?
Key to success is practice, 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 and faith.
Practice. Okay, that's very nice and very aptly put. Okay, some people think it is a must to rebel in order to achieve your dreams and be successful in what you want to do. Is that true then? You think you need to be a rebellion to get to where you want to be as any person?
I mean, if it's required, but if it's not required, then you're just being silly.
But I'm sure, as from what we have spoken about, I don't think you needed to think about rebellion as well. It sort of fell into place for you, and it was a path you're meant to take.
That's right. And also, like, rebellion can also be very silent. It doesn't have to be loud, and it doesn't have to
Right.
be angry, and it doesn't have to be aggressive. So, I mean, for instance, it was rebellion on my part that I continued to wear like shalwar kameez in the initial days of our thing, because everyone was making us feel like, oh, we're rock stars, we should be wearing.
I remember, yeah, what you, yeah.
That used to would really irritate us. So we would be like, what does a rock star look like? And A, we're not rock stars, we're singer-songwriters. And B,
Yeah,
what is a rock star supposed to look like? The whole idea is that they can do whatever they want. So,
exactly.
the fact that we decided not to fashion ourselves, according to some kind of Western ideal or like
Right.
imitate and
A cliche, basically.
or like it's an imitation. We didn't want to do that.
Yeah,
This is who we are,
yes.
and we're kind of rock star enough in who we are. So it was very silent, but it was rebellious.
It was, I totally agree. And I think it was a nice way of showing ownership to what we are, our culture as well. Oh, Zev, we have just a question from one of our listeners, and we will get, obviously, they're piling up messages, but obviously, I'm just going to ask you one question from a listener. Hajra Qureshi wants to know, how did Ustad Sami transform you?
How did he transform me?
Yes,
Ooh, that's such a
that's the question.
lovely question, though, Hajra.
Yeah.
Thank you. I think I our because I'm learning with him a tradition that is very old, and it's kind of it's very deep rooted in Sufic tradition and Sufic practice.
Definitely.
Khayal. So उसमें ये था कि he transformed me by I think really tapping into the practice does. I mean, I don't think he said anything to me, but as I spent more and more time with him, I found
Yes.
myself being far more accepting of the world, being far more accepting of myself, and also like kind of finding kind of being ambitious about my practice more than the result that would come out of it.
Wow.
Which is very, and that kind of discipline of your own thoughts, and that kind of like positive kind of approach to life, I think came about through music, and under the tutelage of
Like you said, it was more about the process rather than the outcome in mind.
Yeah,
The process has to be good. Okay, that's very nice.
yeah. So
And once again, thank you for being such a sport. We just have a rapid fire for you, and I can't wait to ask you these quick questions. Okay, if you were born a different creature, what would you be?
a horse.
A horse? Oh my God, I love horses. They're very graceful.
Love horses. And
And they have all the attitude in the world. I love them.
and they love freedom, and they love running around. So yeah, I love that.
Do you do riding then? Are you interested? Have you
When I
been?
was a child, but I haven't in a long time. I mean, it's
Oh wow.
kind of a tough hobby to pursue, especially.
I'm sure. Yes, yes. Quite high maintenance hobby. Okay, if you were to given a chance to relive the life that you've already lived in the past, which part of life would you not want to relive, and which part would you like to repeat?
Which part would I want to repeat?
And not repeat both.
Not repeat. I think the I think 2015 was an awful year.
Okay.
So I would
Oh,
totally
okay.
miss that. I would
Okay.
miss that. Yeah. I remember when
Okay.
2015 came around, I was like, go away. Apart
Oh,
from that, I would just which part would I repeat? I would probably repeat, my school years. Yeah.
oh,
Repeat
that's
my
sweet.
school years. Yeah. But I have to say
Oh,
that I was thinking about what, um, and everything kind of teaches you good and bad. So I don't really
definitely.
regret anything. So yeah.
That's nice. That's nice. Again, a very grounded person can say that. Only a grounded person and a humble person can say that. If you were a book, what would your title be?
Uh, the Misadventures of Zabe.
Wow, I want to read that book now. I love it. It sounds like an Enid Blyton title. And what are the things, if you have to leave home urgently for any reason, what are the three things that are always a must in your bag? They're always there in your bag, and you cannot leave the house without them.
My passport, my house keys, and my phone.
Okay, that's fair enough. And if you were to choose one, what would you choose out of love, money, fame, and peace of mind?
Peace of mind.
Mine. That's nice. And if you get a superpower, what would be the one thing that you would want to change in your life? And what will the one thing that from the society that you would like to change as well?
Oh, from society, I think I would give everyone patience.
That's nice. Good one. And what about your life?
What about my life?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like, what superpower would I like?
No, no, no. As in, if you have a superpower to change anything, what is one thing that you would want to change from your life?
What would one thing I would change from my life or my personality? I would probably want to,
Any? Yeah.
yeah, well, I would probably want to be, um, yeah, I would probably want to be kind of a more, a less sensitive person.
Oh,
Yeah.
but that's the mark of a good artist. Sensitivity, I think. Any artist. Okay. What is freedom to you?
Freedom to you?
In a sentence? Yeah.
Yeah, the freedom to me is, it's the is access, like, I mean, the ability to do and think what you want, you know.
Right. I agree with that. Okay. Which is better, pre-married life or post-married life?
They're both great. They're both great.
Okay.
But I mean, obviously, I'm married, so I'd say pre-married. That's the way to go.
That's the way.
I
Politically correct.
married people love complaining about marriage, but so.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And who is your favorite Pakistani legendary singer?
Oh, there's so many. I mean,
Really?
recently, like I said, the Fel Niazi Saab has been like
Yes.
very. He's one of my favorite folk singers of all time.
Right.
One of my favorite voices. And then, of course, there's
Right.
Madam Jahan, there's Iqbal Bano. There's like hundreds of them.
Yeah. Yeah, they can't do justice to by saying one name, obviously.
Yeah,
There's so many great ones.
that's one.
Yes, true. Any one song of yours that is sort of your favorite, like a favorite child?
Um. Yeah, I think this song "Kal To Suraj Niklega," which was
Mhm.
Nadra that Tanya and I did with in collaboration with Zara Nigar, the poetess. I think that
Right.
I really like. I really love it.
Beautiful song. I would agree. That's a beautiful song. What is your favorite food?
My favorite food is dal chawal and murghi ka salan.
Oh, that's so sweet. That's a simple pleasures of life. One of the simple pleasures, dal chawal.
It's not so simple. I can't really get it here the way I want it. I make awful dal.
Yeah. I'm sure if you really want it once, you will get there eventually.
Yeah, right. Practice.
Practice, practice. What is one of the best moments from your life? Any one moment that you would say one of the best moments?
Yeah, I've been very lucky. I have many beautiful memories. I think all the times that I've spent with my loved ones have been really amazing.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's true. That's true. And if you had to leave and move to another planet and for the rest of your life, one person you would take with you would be?
Oh wow. I mean, it should be my husband, right?
It shouldn't be. It's okay. You have a choice. It's all
Now,
right, I think.
I think. Oops, sorry. I think now it would just be my husband. Yeah, I would take my husband
True.
if he
Mm.
comes. I mean, if he doesn't. Yeah,
I'm sure he wouldn't let you live on another planet alone.
he wouldn't.
Okay, last but not the least, one word that comes to your mind when I say the following names. Momina Mustasam.
Just lovely voice like uh, कोयल जैसी आवाज.
Wow. Ali Zafar.
Very dynamic and multi-talented.
Definitely. Asim Azhar.
I think he's kind of like the romance king, isn't he?
Chocolate hero kind of person.
Chocolate hero type of person.
Yeah.
Very nice guy. Also.
Yes. Atif Aslam.
He's a pure talent, I think. Blessed.
Shahzad Roy.
I would say one of a very few thinking artists, evergreen.
Refuses to age. Definitely. And last but not the least, Miss Dev Bangash. One word that comes to your mind about yourself.
No, I can't. No, that's the word.
Oh, no. I would say multi-talented. Please, that's my opinion, but most of us are opinion.
Okay,
but again, thank you, Zabe, for being such a good sport and being so patient again today after all the जिस मुश्किलात से हम गुजर के पहुंच गए यहाँ तक. Again, thank you again for taking out time so early in the morning. And we wish you nothing but the best in life, and we hope to hear more brilliance from you coming our way, more vocals, more songs, more collaborations, and we can't wait to see what you have up your sleeve next for us.
So much, and thank you for everyone who tuned in, and a big hello to everyone at ITU. Thank you, Zara.
Thank you so much, Dave. Thank you. Bye-bye. All right, listeners, that was Miss Zebunisa Bangash. She was abroad, but she was kind enough to give us time. I hope आपने show enjoy किया होगा, सुना होगा. आपके कोई comments हैं, do leave us any comments, anything that you want to let us know on the facebook.com/ITU-FM radio. The official website is www.itu.edu.tk. और आप हमें ऑनलाइन भी सुन सकते हैं fm.itu.edu.tk पे. मैं हूँ आपकी होस्ट सारा अलवी, और इंशाल्लाह कल मुलाकात होगी सेम प्लेस सेम टाइम ITU FM 90.4 पर, एंड द शो शाम से पहले and 2 PM. So don't forget to tune in, and thank you so much for watching. Allah Hafiz.